Mesh network systems have gotten super popular over the last few years, and that's for a good reason. They're easy to set up and provide a solid connection for homes with no network cables run, but how does a top-tier mesh system compare to my full UniFi setup that costs a magnitude more? Well, I'd imagine pretty good, right? Let's talk about it. So for those of you that don't know what a mesh network is, it's basically a group of Wi-Fi access points that can wirelessly talk to each other, giving you a larger Wi-Fi area without having to run any network cables. In a typical setup, one device acts as your router and an access point, and the others act solely as access points, receiving and delivering the signal wirelessly. Of course, there are pros and cons to this. Pros are the ease of setup and the flexibility to move them around to get the best connection possible. And cons, well, the main con is performance. Surely, wireless communication between mesh devices isn't as fast nor as stable as a traditional wired backhaul network, right? Well, that's what we want to find out. I'm going to put this up against my UniFi network, which has a total of 5 access points for the entire home. For reference, my home is 2 stories and roughly 3,200 square feet. Yeah, hashtag Texas. What I want to do is find out for the average user, the person who is just using their phone and their laptop for normal everyday tasks, are they going to notice any difference between the two? And if so, how much? All right, well, at this point, I need to talk about the mesh setup I chose, so how about we do a little flashback to a few weeks ago when I went shopping at my favorite store.
And of course, we are at Micro Center, but some of you may have noticed this isn't my normal Micro Center, and you probably didn't notice, but this isn't the Houston store that I so frequent. This is actually the brand new store here in Phoenix, Arizona, and I've come all the way here to get some mesh Wi-Fi, but while I'm here, I'm at least gonna check some things out. So one thing, I mean, obviously it's a Micro Center. They have literally everything. There's the knowledge bar at the front, hella computers from laptops, pre-built, everything, including UniFi stuff. But one thing I wanted to check out was the new Dell XPS real quick, because it's pretty interesting. So they got rid of like the trackpad. I mean, there's still a trackpad, but there's no outline. And they got rid of the function buttons. This guy right here, I wanna just put in my pocket, not to steal, but like, and also look at this thing. This is hilarious. Imagine pulling up to work with this. Yo, that's crazy. But yeah, they got all the Ubiquity stuff. One thing I also did want to check out is in the pre-built section. Saw a little Raspberry Pi set up here. Oh, cool. They got like a demo running here. It like identifies what color. Oh, it gives you like an actual, that doesn't look like the right color. I don't know. I don't know what it's technically supposed to be doing, but it got that right, I think. Anyway.
I'm sure it's yellow, but yeah.
Oh, shit. Oh, wait. I was like, yeah, no, yeah, that's red. I don't know my colors. So one thing that I've wanted, and Micro Center actually has them, is the Intel Arc B50. They're in these inconspicuous brown boxes here, so I think I'm actually gonna get one of those for a future project. Let's go find some actual mesh Wi-Fi. That's the whole reason we're here. So here's the, I guess, other network section, the section that's not Ubiquity stuff, which has everything from Netgear, TP-Link, Google Home, Eero, Asus, TrendNet, everything. So what we want specifically is mesh. Now, everyone kind of has a mesh system these days, and I was honestly shocked when I came here and saw that you can get a mesh system for $1,700. Yeah. If that sounds wild to you, it sounded wild to me because I haven't done a mesh video, or I haven't even used a mesh system in a couple years. They do have the TP-Link section on this side, which is their Deco line. They have the Asus Zen with their mesh implementation. Eero, and I'm gonna be honest with you, I've never used an Eero product before. Some of you Eero fanboys, if you exist, are probably yelling at the screen right now. Which one do we get? So after reviewing all of my options, I think I'm gonna go with this Netgear Orbi tri-band system. So what I wanted was at least 3 units. I think you can get by with 2 units in a mesh setup, but I think with 3 it gives you, triangulation, and it lets you be, I guess, more, not dynamic, it lets you be more flexible with where you put them to get better coverage. I was debating on doing Wi-Fi 7. If you're gonna go with something at this point, the price difference wasn't too crazy, so We're going with Wi-Fi 7 just to give it the best opportunity to go up against my UniFi setup. You're probably going to say, Brett, well then why didn't you get the $1,700 system? I also wanted this to be realistic. So this setup right here is $589. It's essentially 3 routers, 3 access points. So while it does sound like a lot, if you were to pair out 3 specific access points from other vendors or other options, it would be roughly the same. Now we do get 2.5 gig networking on here. If we were to step up to the 870 series, this is the 770 series, you do get 10 gig backhaul, but on a mesh setup, if you need 10 gig in your network, maybe you go for this. If you're just looking for an all-in-one device for your home network, I don't think you need to go higher than 2.5 gig. If you disagree, fight me in the comments. Let's get this back somehow to Texas and set it up and see what kind of numbers we can get. And they have the NVIDIA Spark here. I want one so bad, but I can't justify spending $4,000 on one. So guys, comment below. Hey, Micro Center, Brett needs a Spark. Or what rhymes with Spark? Park? Brett needs a Spark. And yeah, dark. Take a shot of the dark and get Brett a Spark. That's not gonna work. All right, let's go back to Texas.
All right, we made it back to Texas. I'm actually in my wife's office right now towards the front of the house. I'll get to that in a second, but I've actually been using this setup for a few days now, and it's actually been pretty good. So let's start from the beginning with the setup process. So I had 3 units, one being a router slash access point slash a router slash access point that's going to connect directly into your modem. And the other 2 are satellites. They can go wherever. So we're towards the front of the house. There's one of the satellites up here towards the front. The main router is in the kitchen. So basically the center of the house. And then I have another satellite upstairs. In terms of software, I just downloaded the Orbi app on my phone and walked through the entire setup process there. It was pretty straightforward. Nothing really to complain about. It seemed like you did have to create a Netgear account. Not great. I don't like having to create specific accounts just to use the actual thing that I bought. But if you do it on a computer, I don't think you have to do it that way. But if you use the app, I think you do. There you go. Pretty basic settings on the phone. There's really not much there. You can like change the SSID and like some other random little settings. You can actually go in and enable a guest and IoT network in here, which is pretty useful. In this day and age, a lot of people like having both a separate guest network and a separate IoT network. So the fact that you can do that super easily in the app is great. Outside of that, like I said, there really isn't much in there. If you log in using the IP address on your computer, there's a whole bunch of stuff in there, from port forwarding to advanced wireless features to you can even set up a VPN server, open VPN server on these, which is awesome. So yeah, pretty much everything you need for a home user, even an advanced home user, I'd say, with these things. But what you really care about and what this was about is testing speeds and testing it versus my UniFi setup. So what I'm actually going to do is do a live test. I'm going to walk through my house with the Wi-Fi Man app running to get it's going to tell me what the signal strength is in real time. And what this is going to do is test how good the coverage is in different spots in my home and how good it is at automatically switching as I'm moving. All right, so like I mentioned, we are in the front of the house. We are right next to a satellite, and we are getting negative 46 dB, which is good. You can see green, excellent. So as we start moving, you're going to see it fluctuate. What you're wanting to see is obviously a good signal strength throughout, but when I move around, you're going to see it go down, obviously, as we move away, but then you're going to see it change as I move towards another satellite. So as I move towards the kitchen and the center of the house, it looks like the connection should go back up, which it is, because I'm assuming it automatically switched me to this guy right here, which is why we have, again, negative 45 dB. Really good. We're in the living room where most of the things happen. Hello. Signal's still good, decent, 58. Yeah, I mean, really, really good signal strength. And you can see the physical speed. That's basically like the theoretical max speed at the time up here towards the top. So as I'm going upstairs, probably should have turned on the light. Again, you saw it go down, but it switched to the other satellite I have up here, which is right there. I think you guys can see it. I mean, again, we're getting anywhere in the house. If I go into my studio that you guys are probably more familiar with, 60, 64. I mean, again, it's good. Even just walking throughout the house, the lowest I saw was what? Negative 70, which is still fine enough. I mean, I don't know. It's surprisingly good. The switching is super fast, and I mean, that's what you want out of this. So how about we do a speed test? You guys want to see a speed test? So here you go. From a satellite upstairs, 400. Now, how about we do the same thing, but in reverse? We're going to switch to UniFi and see how that compares. Yeah, so I mean, a bit faster, maybe like 50%. So we went from like 400 to 679. Is that enough to warrant spending more money? Who knows? But let's do the same test again with the signal strength. So in the same spot, roughly the same. It is fluctuating a bit more on the UniFi setup, it looks like, but let's do the same thing. We're going to walk around. Downstairs, we go 70, 71, 75. So I do have a really expensive access point right here, which you would hope that it would connect to, but it's not. Walking, still. Okay, now we're switched. It looks like we're switched to another one. But we're going back down, back up. Because in here, again, we're right next to another access point. So, I mean, in that super scientific test, the mesh setup did the switching a lot better and handled moving around way better than the UniFi setup. As you're moving, and if your connection is dropping, you are going to notice that. But if you're moving around and it's seamlessly moving between access points, it's going to be a more stable, a better connection. So what do you want to have? Slightly slower total bandwidth, but seamlessly keeping your connection stable while you're moving, or faster speeds, but maybe a little bit more jank as you're moving. I don't know. You tell me. All right, so looking back on the test, I have a few takeaways. One is that I noticed during the UniFi test, the roaming didn't do anything. It just stuck to the same access point throughout the house. Now, there are settings in UniFi Network to customize how the roaming works, and I did play with those a bit, but honestly, it just seemed to make things less stable than the default configuration. The other thing was that the Orbi mesh setup handled roaming insanely well. Like, it was actually impressive how quick it switched once I got closer to another unit. I'm well aware this isn't a comprehensive test, but it is a real-world test and indicative of results you may expect to see in a standard deployment. Am I saying that the Orbi system is better? No, I'm sure if I put in the time and effort to optimize my UniFi setup, it would perform better, but that's the thing. I legit just threw the Orbi units down in random spots I thought might be good, and they did great with zero additional configuration. And that right there is the main reason why people love these mesh setups. You can argue with me till you're blue in the face about performance under certain conditions and how a wired backhaul is more stable and blah, 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 but the average customer who's just looking to get Wi-Fi to work throughout their house does not care, I can assure you that. So yeah, overall, I'm surprised at how well the Orbi units performed. They aren't perfect though. I'd like to see them include some wall mounts in the box since they have mounting points on the bottom, and I'd like to see Netgear add some outdoor rated satellite units to the lineup as well. What do you think? Let me know down in the comments. And that's all I have for this one though. If you liked it, then drop a like and subscribe if you want more network shenanigans. I want to give a huge shout out to my YouTube members and my Patreons. You guys are my wireless mesh system with super impressive roaming and like over 1 gigabit worth of bandwidth. Y'all are the best. And if you're still watching, you're 2.4 gigahertz. Thank you so much, and I'll see you in the next one.